Let's move ahead now to Psalm 125, a song of ascents. Those who trust in the Lord are like Mount Zion that cannot be moved, enduring forever. Jerusalem, hills enfold it, and the Lord enfolds his people now and forever. The scepter of the wicked shall never rest upon the land allotted to the righteous, that the righteous not set their hand to wrongdoing. Do good, O Lord, to the good, to the upright in heart. But those who in their crookedness act corruptly, let the Lord make them go the way of evildoers. May it be well with Israel. The last phrase of this psalm, Shalom al Yisrael. May it be well with Israel is the translation, or another translation could be peace unto Israel. Shalom, peace unto Israel. If you have ever been to Jerusalem, if you've ever visited Israel and climbed up to Jerusalem, you cannot help but be impressed by the breathtaking views of the hills surrounding the holy city. The vistas are beautiful and awe-inspiring. They really are. And in this psalm, we get the image of, again, the pilgrims ascending, going up to Jerusalem, and reaffirming their trust in the Lord and the wish that their trust be enduring and eternal. The psalmist compares Israel's trust in God to the immovability of Mount Zion. It is there, it is permanent, it endures forever. And in the same way, the psalmist states that God enfolds his people just like the hills enfold Jerusalem. God surrounds and protects God's people, me'ata v'ad olam, now and forever. The idea of eternity, of permanence, is a very strong theme in this psalm. And there are some phrases in this psalm that the translators seem to be confused about, because at the very bottom of the page, the translators state that the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain, to the verse that says, the scepter of the wicked shall never rest upon the land allotted to the righteous, and so on. So whenever the psalmist switches focus to evildoers, and then in another phrase, just a few verses later in verse 5, V'hamatim akalkalotam, very strange Hebrew. The translators say that there too the meaning of the Hebrew is uncertain, but those who in their crookedness act corruptly. So the Hebrew phrasing is difficult and strange whenever the focus is on the evildoers and the wicked. But the Hebrew phrasing is very simple and direct when talking about the upright in heart. Heitiva Adonai latovim, do good, O Lord, to the good. And then again, at the end, Shalom al Yisrael, may there be peace with Israel, or may it be well with Israel. Very simple, direct, and clear speech. But when focusing on the crooked and the evildoers, the speech, the Hebrew gets convoluted for some reason. So, Jerusalem, its hills that protect it, the people, the Jewish people, and God who protects them, these are meant to be images of permanence. And in that sense, I believe that the psalmist is expressing a wish or a dream. And he's going to get into a dream image in the very next Psalm, 126, which we'll come to following this one. But we all know that Israel's and the Jewish people's possession of the land was not permanent. In fact, for approximately 2,000 years, the Jewish people lost autonomy over the land and no longer had control over Jerusalem, the holy city, or the land surrounding it. The Jews had been conquered by the Romans in 70 of the Common Era, and until the establishment of the Third Commonwealth, the creation of the State of Israel in 1948, the Jews never retained autonomous political control over the land. And so what comes off in the psalm as being permanent is really an expression of a hope and a wish. The psalmist's realization that the wish is something for the future, that the present situation is something less than desirable, is very poignant. We all know that we pray for days of peace when all will be well, not only for Israel, but for all of us, for America, for all the countries of the world, knowing how difficult and how troubled our society is in the present day. But that doesn't take away the need and the very natural human inclination to hope and pray for a time when Shalom al Yisrael, when there will be peace upon Israel, not only the state of Israel, but the Jewish people, and V'Shalom al America, and there shall be shalom and peace in our country, and our country as a symbol for the world as a whole. There's nothing wrong with fixing hopes on a better day and on a time and a situation where everything somehow will be resolved, me'ata v'ad olam, as the psalmist says, now and forever. In the now, we still exist during a time of turmoil. But in the forever, we pray for shalom, for peace, for well-being, and another translation of shalom is harmony. I record this psalm commentary now during a very turbulent election season in October of 2020. The president a few days ago was diagnosed with COVID-19. He is currently in Walter Reed Hospital, recovering from COVID-19. So many members of his staff, White House entourage, and other political figures are sick with this virus. Many of us are feeling COVID fatigue. You hear that term every so often. But we have to remember that this situation is temporary. It will not last forever. Certainly, we will have to undergo and make some basic changes in the way we live, and that may last for a while. But in the end, we pray for a time when our trust in God will be immutable, even though we sometimes feel that that trust is shaken a little bit and challenged. We hope and pray for the day when that trust will be strong, powerful, and immutable, and that God will enfold us and protect us, me'ata v'ad olam, now and forever, with the blessings of shalom, peace, and harmony. Thank you.